Next time on Frontline.
Fraud and potential criminal conduct were at the heart of the financial crisis.
Titans of Wall Street.
No one going to jail, no individuals being held accountable.
Too big to jail.
A pervasively corrupt pattern of behavior. More than 90% of the underlying loans were defective.
Isn't that fraudulent?
Yes.
Frontline investigates.
This is a stain on the American justice system.
The Untouchables.
Good evening, Ape Nation. Guys, what's going on? It is Thursday, February 24th, 2022, and I am in a horrible mood today. Unfortunately, filming this video with everything that's going on in the world. If you guys haven't been keeping up with current events, Russia finally launched their invasion into Ukraine about midnight last night. We were on the live stream, and some people were chiming in the comment section, letting me know, and we've seen today. Apparently, this has been corroborated by mainstream media and boots on the ground. And so it begins, and the market is responding just as we thought. I'm probably going to save everything on this invasion for the part 2 of this video. I can't have this video go 20 minutes, so I'm going to break it down into 2 parts. The first thing I want to talk about tonight is this article from Markets Muse from 2016. And it's talking about Citadel and the KCG targets of the DOJ, the investigation that they launched back in 2016, what the results were, and how does it tie into what happened back in 2012 with this Untouchables video that Frontline produced from PBS back in 2014. So, before we get too far ahead of ourselves,
Cue the speeder.
This is the way.
This is the first time clicking on one of my videos. Just so you know, I'm a retail investor. I hold large position in AMC, a smaller position in GME, believe in the MOASS. On this channel, we don't do times, dates, or prices, but we do cover anything and everything having to do with AMC, the broader market, and the news. Now, with that being said, let's get into this. So this video, The Untouchables, is a PBS documentary that came out back in, I believe, 2013. It originally aired. So we're talking about 4 years post the 2008 financial crisis. And I'm going to pull a couple clips from this video just so retail investors, I swear, as I was saying, I really pulled these clips for the newer retail investors out there, maybe guys who weren't around in 2008 or at least weren't involved with the market, who don't remember what happened when we had the financial crash and the way that our government responded to it. And so I understand that we are in a different time right now. This is obviously 2022. We have a different administration.
Shirley Jackson Lee, Al Green, Sylvia Garcia, Lizzie Pinelli, Pinell, and what am I doing here? I'm going to lose track here. And
different people in places of power and positions to have effects on rules and regulations. I understand all of that, but there's no reason that we can't go back and look at historical data and actions that took place to try to speculate on the future and where these DOJ investigations could lead. Is there going to be anyone held accountable this time around? And that's really why I want to get into this. So, without further ado, cue the video.
It wasn't the strongest case. With no whistleblowers talking, prosecutors had to rely on the interpretation of a few emails. 18 Wall Street defense attorneys went to work.
Well, it's been a fast-moving trial.
And after a 3-week trial, the government failed to convince a jury that the hedge fund managers were guilty.
Not guilty of charges that they defrauded.
Were you surprised by the outcome of the Bear Stearns hedge fund managers case?
I was a little surprised, but I wasn't shocked. These are hard cases to win.
The acquittal in that case left many of us feeling a little empty.
Got to put a big wrench in the government's prosecution scheme.
There was a definite sense that justice backed off when it came to making the cases that would really have gone to the heart of what did happen in the crisis of 08.
They started telling me about this great thing they had out in California, this web to catch the mortgage brokers who had given out the loans. And we made it clear to them, I made it clear to them that absolutely positively, this is not about LA. This is totally about what went on Wall Street. That's what the bill says, and that's what the emphasis is.
In case you don't know, and just so I can provide some context for what we just watched, the man on the screen right now, that is a senator from Delaware. His name was Ted Kaufman. He served as a Delaware senator and replaced Joe Biden when Biden went to run with Barack Obama. And you may be thinking to yourself, as did I, why is it this senator is going after the hedge funds and the banks? How is it he's so bold? And let me tell you why. Cue the video.
Joe Biden,
Senator Ted Kaufman was a co-sponsor of the bill. He was an unusual senator.
When this particular term is up, what are you going to do?
Oh, I'm going to leave. I would never run for office.
Appointed to replace Senator Joe Biden, he had taken no campaign money and was beholden to no lobbyists.
I want to see people who have committed such fraud and the havoc it's caused to this country. Frankly, I want to see them go to jail. Out who can invest.
And there it is. He was beholden to no one. Nobody owned his ass like the rest of the people in Congress. He hadn't had any time. He didn't have to raise any campaign donations. He was beholden to no one. And that's why he was able to take this hard line at these guys and say that they were looking for jail sentences. Now, what was the ultimate result of their investigation? Take a wild guess.
This would be the biggest showdown between Congress and a major Wall Street banker. Blankfein was unapologetic.
Clients know our activities and they understand what market making is.
Do you think they know that you think something is a piece of crap when you sell it to them and then bet against it? You think they know that?
The nature of the principal business and market making.
Lloyd Blankfein argued it was perfectly okay to, at the same time we were selling securities to you, we were betting on the fact these securities were going to go down. But that's okay because we're a market maker and we're allowed to do that. That sounds like fraud to me. In the first half of 2007, Goldman Sachs sold long position CDOs to its clients, right?
We reduced our risk.
So you were selling CDOs at the same time you were taking short positions on the same CDOs.
The best way of reducing your risk is to sell what you have.
I believe in a free market. If it's going to be truly free, it cannot be designed for just a few people. It must be free of deception. It's got to be free of conflicts of interest. It needs a cop on the beat, and it's got to get back on Wall Street.
18 Wall Street defense attorneys went to work.
Well, it's been a fast-moving trial.
And after a 3-week trial, the government failed to convince a jury that the hedge fund managers were guilty.
The Justice Department says these are very difficult cases to bring. Showing intent and proving every step of the crime beyond a reasonable doubt is a difficult thing to do.
I think that is without a doubt a factor in the difficulty of proving intent. But I'm sorry, I just don't believe there was enough effort.
So guys, that's the story about the 08 financial crisis and the DOJ, SEC, and the district attorney. And you can make up your own mind. I'd like to know in the comments, do you think the DOJ did enough? How is it they couldn't find any tangible evidence to bring these people to justice? But here's the thing, and they just said it in the video clip. It is very difficult to prove these cases from beginning to end with intent. And so going forward, when we talk about the DOJ and Mike Gensler and the SEC and how they're going to do all these great things, just remember, there was only one member of Congress who was beholden to none and had no lobbyists in his pocket that was able to even bring charges up against these people and bring them into Congress for a hearing. And just so we're being clear, I understand we are in a new administration. We have totally new people in these positions of power right now. The gentleman on the screen, his name is Lanny Brewer. He was actually assistant to the DOJ back in Obama's administration. And he was the guy who couldn't find information back then. Now we have Merrick Garland, who is very busy running around trying to get parents who are upset about CRT and masks in the classrooms. And so, guys, it is always just this thing. I know this transparency thing is coming forward and the March 3rd date and the March 9th, by the way, Shout out to Tony De Niro for covering March 3rd. I'll put the link down below. I realized I didn't get into it the other night, and I had it on the thumbnail. My apologies, but we ran out of time. But this new administration, Merrick Garland, is he going to really bring charges? We'll see what happens with this DOJ investigation. Remember, guys, they have to prove intent, and that's very difficult. 3 years, and then just 2 years later, in 2016, the DOJ launched an investigation with the help of the FBI and James Comey into Citadel and KCG, specifically for their execution of stock transactions on the behalf of retail investors or clients with smaller portfolios. Well, I guess I don't have to tell you how that ends. Ken Griffin is still doing well for himself. Let's just put it that way. And guys, of course, I hope I'm wrong on this. I hope these guys are going to be legit and take these guys and hold them accountable. But so far, this administration in general hasn't impressed me. And the fact of the matter is the DOJ has much more pressing issues right now than manipulation in the market and people being robbed. So anyone saying that these people are going to save us, I just ask, are you doing the research? Are you doing the DD? Are you looking back at the historical data to find out where these people are coming from? All right, now in part 2, I'm just going to let you guys know what we're going to be talking about. I'm going to go into the WEF and Klaus Schwab and a couple things that happened in the Canadian House of Commons this week, how it affects the United States, and how does it affect the rest of the democratic countries across the globe. Why is Klaus Schwab and the WEF infiltrating cabinets of democratic societies, putting these young leaders into place? What is the reason behind all of this? We're going to get into that and a lot more. As always, before I let you go, thank you for all the likes, the views, the comments, my new subscribers, my OGs. I appreciate each and every one of you, and a special shout out to ladies who moderated my chat last night and saved my ass and hobby as well. We are here to break the wheel. This is Ape Nation. I'm the Massalorian, and I'm out.